Hello everyone, I hope you're doing well today. I hope you had such a lovely Christmas, a lovely New Year's. I hope your 2026s are off to a lovely, lovely start. I realise this is a slightly negative video to be launching in with this new year, but to be honest, I haven't been feeling particularly positive myself, and I know I shouldn't be saying that right at the beginning of January. I've spent the last few weeks feeling really unwell. I'm still not feeling well, but I'm getting little bits of energy in little bursts. So I thought today I could take you through some of the things in my collection that have just gone really wrong. And I've got to say pretty much all of these are my fault. When just like the mental side of things feeds into the physical when you're not feeling well. And I've been looking through at my planty space for the last few weeks and I have watched things going downhill, and I've just been like, oh my God, I know I need to get in there and water that plant. I know I need to do this. I know I need to do that. And I just haven't been able to find the energy to do so. And as a result, oh God, I've got some really bad things happening and some things that I feel really sad about. So yeah, I thought I could take you through them, talk a little bit about how I'm going to go about rehabbing the ones that are savable. And yeah, that is the plan. But first, if you're new here, hi, my name's Claire and this is Yoli. I make videos all about houseplant care, sharing tips and tricks I've learnt over the years to help keep your plants happy and healthy. And yeah, one of my goals for 2026 is to embrace my plant fails a little bit more and share them as much as I possibly can. So by that standard, hopefully, we're turning the negative into a positive. And yes, I hope you enjoy it. Let's get into it. Okay, we are going to start with a plant that I feel very, very bad about. This is a plant that I got only a couple of months ago, and it is one that is just definitely not revivable. And it is my Saxifraga, and all the babies at the bottom as well are bone dry. I feel horrible about this. It was a plant that I was so excited about. It was one that is typically not the sort of thing I'd go for, and I was quite excited to, I guess, just kind of like get out of my comfort zone a little bit and grow something new. And I did hear that this type of plant, very similarly to begonias, doesn't like to dry out. And in the run up to Christmas, when I was starting to get sick, I did notice that it was very, very dry, and I was like, oh my God, I need to water that plant. And I took it off its hanger and I put it next to my watering system that was on the floor, my little washing up bowl with the oven grill on top of it. And I then just kind of went into zone out mode and didn't get back in this space for about a week. And in the meantime, I completely forgot to turn off the heated floor in this room. So this one was literally baking to a crisp on the floor. And yeah, I went to pick it up and like you can hear it is just dead leaves, and I guess I could chop the whole thing back and water it and just see if miraculously it bounces back. I don't know how hardy this plant is, but I just get the feeling that it's not that hardy. And yeah, I feel like I just haven't even given this one a chance. I think I've watered it maybe like 3 or 4 times since I brought it home. That's how recently it's been. And yeah, although all the little babies at the bottom here don't look as dead, they kind of look like there might be some life in them. They've kind of held their colour because it hasn't been that long. But again, I don't know if you can hear that, but they are just crispy and dry. And so I think this is probably officially the first plant I have killed in 2026. It probably happened before 2026, to be honest, but yeah, I feel awful, and I'm not going to say a lot more about it, apart from I will... Oh, you know what? Okay, actually, I hadn't noticed this, but just looking in there, can you see that little leaf there? That looks like it might have some life in it. Maybe I haven't killed it. Okay, maybe I haven't. What I will probably do is I will lop back all of the dead growth, which is 99.9% of the plant, give it a water through, and actually, I don't know, I was going to say it's going to be very prone to rotting then because of how dry it is. Be prepared to maybe take some sections out and try them in like water or moss or something. I'm not holding my breath, to be honest, with this plant. It's one that I think might be a goner, but that's more hope than I had 5 minutes ago. So who knows? Maybe it's not doomed. But yeah, I'll let you know how it goes with that one. But like I say, my hopes aren't that high. And then another one is another, oh God, this is, it's shameful. This is another one that I haven't had very long. In fact, I've had this less time than the Saxifraga. And you know what? It's looking a little bit better today than it was a few days ago. I don't think it's doomed. But it's the little Aglaonema. I can't remember exactly what its name is, but I'll put it on the screen. And I got this in the plant swap that I did with Emma from Grow Tropicals, and I just thought it was absolutely beautiful. But when I repotted it with you guys in my repotting chat, probably just over a month ago now, I noticed that actually it had barely any roots, and I was like, oh God, I'm gonna have to go in with like a completely different system. So I decided to put it in sphagnum moss. And at the time, I have no idea why I did this, because this is usually not my go-to at all. I opted for just like a little nursery pot in sphagnum moss instead of like a contained jar or like something without drainage. And the reason I usually go no drainage for sphagnum moss propagation or like rehabbing is because the moisture is typically contained much better if it's in something that doesn't have drainage. Whereas obviously with this, it's very exposed at the top, it's very exposed at the bottom, and it does dry out quicker. And so, yeah, I came through here the other day and I just saw this little one looking super shriveled, really yellow. I do think these two leaves are probably going to go. And basically looking half dead. And I was just like, oh my God, what have I done? Grabbed my watering can, threw some water on it. And it does look a little bit perkier today. But yeah, again, I've no idea what... Oh, I was going to say, should I have a look? Oh, it might be a little bit of a risk. I was going to say, I have no idea what the roots are doing now. To be honest, they look pretty much the same. I don't know how well you can see because they're kind of blending in with the moss. They look pretty much the same as they did when I initially put them in the moss. Not a lot has changed at the moment. It is very early days. And obviously, I haven't been caring for it very well. So yeah, it is an Aglaonema though that I'm really excited about. I love Aglaonema as a genus. That like some of my favourite plants in my collection are Aglaonema. And this is one that I really want to thrive. So hopefully it's not doomed. I do hope that now I've kind of broken the cycle a little bit and I've started doing little bits of plant care again. I'm going to be able to kind of ease myself back into it because, I know we've spoken about burnout and just life with plants before, but when you go through a period of like either just like intense stress or you're just really busy or you just fall out of love with plant care for a bit or you're not well, it can be so hard to then be like, okay, come on, get on with it and find the love for it again. And I'm not saying that I've lost the love, but I almost get to the point when I haven't been doing plant care for such a long time that I almost like get like the fear of like going and like doing it again. Like the thought of having to do all of these things that are getting worse and worse and worse every single day feels like a big weight. And when I haven't been feeling my greatest, that big weight has just been making me feel really guilty. But yeah, like I say, the fact I'm talking about it with you guys today and the fact that I've started doing little bits when I've been feeling up to it, I do hope will ease me back into it. But yes, it happens. And then this one. So I put this on the list because it's looking worse than when I got it. And I keep thinking, in fact, you know what? I think it might be pest related. This is my Monstera deliciosa mint. It was a dream wishlist plant of mine for such a long time. And since I have got it, I've just been a bit like meh with it, which again, I hate saying. It makes me feel really ungrateful. I'm not, but I'm just firstly starting to think that this plant might do better for someone else. And also just finding it really difficult. Like granted, again, it has been allowed to dry out way more than it should have been, but initially this plant had, I think, about 3 or maybe even 4 leaves. It's obviously now down to this one, and this is not even the leaf that it gave me when it first reached me. That is that one there that I've had to chop back. And I was just looking at the back of the leaf there, and although I can't see pests themselves, I'm not sure how well you're going to be able to see, but I can just see a little bit of what looks like black dust, and that is often thrip poo. So I'm kind of thinking that maybe this plant has or has had thrips. And yeah, I'm just not sure. Oh, I don't know. I'm not like, I don't know how I truly feel about it. And if I'm saying that, I think maybe it's a plant that might be better off with someone else. I'm really trying to get so much better at passing things along if they're not bringing me joy anymore. And actually, getting this plant was super exciting. I was over the moon when I first got it, but since I've owned it, it just has got progressively worse, and I haven't enjoyed growing it. It's been about 6 months, I would say, ish, and I feel like maybe that's enough. Maybe that's enough time. Okay, yeah, so this may well be one that I do get rid of, but for the time being, it's just looking quite sad. And this one, however, is one that is looking very sad, but is one that I adore and I'm sad about. And it is my Anthurium magnificum luxurians hybrid. And as you can see, this leaf is looking very speckled and very unhappy, as is this one. And I know this might be displaying as something fungal. I made a video just before the end of the year actually on how to recognise and diagnose fungal things, bacterial things, and actually this one is presenting in a way that looks very much like it could be one of those things. But actually this is down to the root system of the plant. I lopped it back a while ago because the roots were very mushy and just not doing well. I didn't do a hydrogen peroxide treatment at the time. I just put the plant into sphagnum moss and I was like, oh, I think the roots will be fine that way. And they're obviously not. I can actually see a healthy root, or it looks like a very healthy root just there, but I can't see the amount of new root growth that I was hoping to see since I did it. Like, it's been a good few months now and the plant is just looking worse and worse. So I think probably what I need to do with this one is get it out of the sphagnum moss, probably lop these leaves back, give the roots a really good hydrogen peroxide soak, trim back any bits that might not be that healthy, and then hopefully we can get it going again, because when this one was growing at its best, it was one of my favourites, not just favourite Anthuriums, but one of my favourite plants. And yeah, it makes me so sad seeing it like this. I do again think this is down to me. I think inconsistent watering, like I said about the Saxifraga, like sometimes letting things dry out for way too long and then going in with water can make the roots rot. So yes, this is a work in progress, but one I am going to work very hard to bring back this year because it's just gorgeous. I'll see if I can find a clip of it when it was at its best and put it on the screen, or a picture if I can't find that, and just show you what it actually looks like when it's good, because oh my god, it's a beautiful one. This one again, this has been looking quite sad for a while, but I don't think it's helped that I have not been very on it. From a distance it looks totally fine. It's my Hoya krohniana super silver, but up close, can you see like all of its leaves look really kind of deflated? You know that thing that people say sometimes, they're like, oh, if you're not sure if your Hoya needs watering, do the taco test, see if its leaves will fold. I do not by any means think that is a good thing to do, because like these are ridiculously dehydrated leaves. Like, I can fold them. They do fold and flop very easily. Like, if the plant was properly hydrated, they should be really plump and juicy, and you shouldn't be able to do that. But I suspect this is more than just not watering the plant. Like, even when I have given this plant a really good water through, it's just not looked as full and happy and healthy as it should have done. And I have grown this type of plant in my collection for years and years and years. I got it for the first time when I was living back in my mum's house, which was years ago now. In fact, I showed it in loads of my videos then, and it was gorgeous and it grew really well. And it was one of my lowest maintenance plants, and I found it super easy. And this one has just been quite difficult. So yeah, I suspect there might be something rooty happening. So I need to get it out of its pot, maybe actually do a little hydrogen peroxide treatment on this one as well, depending on the state of the roots. Maybe take some cuttings and reset the plant. I think what I should probably do, and this is probably quite a good place to start with getting back into kind of the practicalities of plant care, I think I should probably group my plants in regards to what I think they might need doing so that I can kind of kill multiple birds with one stone. For example, if I suspect there might be root issues going on with several plants, perhaps some hydrogen peroxide mix and kind of do them all at once. Ideally, actually, that's what I kind of wanted to launch into this year with. I wanted to do like a massive reset video because, as you can probably tell, there is a lot to reset, and kind of organise my cupboard of chaos and just get on top of all these things. I haven't felt up to that just yet, but I really hope maybe in the next couple of days I can start going with that because there's so many things. So many things. And although I know like some people are like, it's January, new year, new me. And sometimes I've felt like that in the past. That I think sometimes you just need a bit of a boot up the backside, don't you? And maybe if I get on with some things, it will help you guys to get on with some things and then we can kind of help each other and it'll all feel good. But yeah, this might be the most heartbreaking one on the list, to be honest. In fact, I think it is. It's looking so bad. I feel so awful. But this is my Drymonia cherry bagana, and that's the healthiest bit of growth. The rest of it, look at all of these leaves that have been lost, like that massive long stretch of vine, all there. It is just, in tatters right now. And this plant pre-Christmas, or when I say pre-Christmas, pre-December, was beautiful and probably one of my favourites, one that I spoke about all the time and one that I have just been pretty obsessed with for the last few years since I've had it. And this one I have been growing again in sphagnum moss, which typically works really well for this plant. I do find the plant roots really well and just does good things in sphagnum moss, but again, it is a pot with drainage. I've covered it in cling film to try and keep a little bit more of the moisture in, but I think just because it's not in a spot that I can easily monitor it, I've got it hanging in one of my skylights, meaning that I have to kind of like reach up and get it down if I want to check it. Heat obviously rises as well, and over the last month or so, it's just got really, really dry, and I haven't noticed, or if I have noticed, I don't know, I just haven't been looking hard enough at the things that need dealing with. And so as a result, here we are. The positive thing with this plant is that I know it props very well in sphagnum moss, and I know that it grows so quickly. Like when this plant gets going, it grows ridiculously fast. So I think what I'm going to have to do here, unless I want like a really sparse, look at the little bit of growth coming out at the end there. It's trying, like if we take those dead leaves off, it's trying to put out new growth. But yeah, for example, if I was to cut that section just like there and stick that in moss, like it would be growing again in no time. So I think the answer is I just need to reset this plant and start from scratch. But it just feels quite sad because I have started from scratch with this plant so many times before. So yes, that's where we're at, but there is hope. There is still some lovely growth there, and I will absolutely make sure I get this plant back in my collection. Probably, in fact, start playing about with a few different ways of growing it so I can have multiples, because this is one that I never want to lose. I just love it, but have not been a good parent to it recently. And then this one. So this one doesn't look as bad as the others. That leaf obviously looks gorgeous. This is my Anthurium Draconopterum, and I got this one not last year, but the year before now. God, that has whizzed by. I got this when I was at the flats. We have officially been in our house a year now. It was around about this time last year, that we were thinking of moving. So literally packing up and moving. Crazy. So as you can see, this leaf here, not happy at all. And I do just find this to be a little bit of a pattern with this plant. I think the most leaves I have ever grown this one to is like 5 in one go, and it looks beautiful, but I feel like it's one of these anthuriums, you take your eye off it for like 20 minutes and it starts going wrong. I don't quite know why that is. I feel like I've turned so many corners with different types of anthuriums over the last few years, and I've really kind of played about with different substrates and different nutrient balances and different levels of water and light. And if you are one of these people that can successfully grow the Dreconopterum, please let me know what you're doing. Please share some tips in the comments, because I just feel a little bit lost with it. And it's one that I'm definitely not willing to give up on. I love it so much. I think the form of it is just so weirdly phallic, but so cool. And yeah, it just makes me sad to see the leaves doing this and dying off. And I just don't know why it's happening. So yes, what are your thoughts? What do you think could be going on here? Yeah, I'm growing it in a chunky soil mix. I can see healthy roots at the bottom, like starting to kind of push out of the pot a little bit, although it was repotted quite recently, so I don't think it actually needs that much more space yet. I've got like a sphagnum moss collar on it to support the aerial roots. And yeah, all of the leaves start off looking healthy and then just go a bit crispy and like that. And that has happened so quickly. To be honest, I didn't notice that happening. I looked away from my plant room, didn't come back for a little while, and when I came back I was like, oh my god, it's really going downhill fast. And another anthurium that I could say the same for, what is this one called? Is it my Angamarcanum? I think it is. Yeah, I think it's the Angamarcanum. I can never really remember the name of this one because it's never doing enough to talk about. It's always just looking a bit rubbish. And this one started looking a bit better last year. I took it out of a prop box that I had it in, and it was like very slowly, but it was giving me new growth. And I'm not sure what's gone wrong here, because again, I'm rehabbing it in sphagnum moss. This, I think because of the pot that I'm growing it in, has actually kept the moisture in quite nicely. Like this moss has still got moisture in it now. But again, like this little leaf with no sign of like anything else going wrong, no sign of pests, it's just looking so shriveled and unhappy. And even when it does give me nice leaves, similarly to what I just said about the last one, it will give me one lovely leaf that will look lovely for maybe a couple of weeks, and then it will just look awful again. And I'm like, what's going on? What is happening? So yeah, I have heard that this is quite a notoriously difficult anthurium to grow. And I do feel like there are some anthuriums that I have got my head around more so than I had done a few years ago, like the krohniana, for example. I know I always talk about that one nowadays, but last year was like a breakthrough year for me in that plant. I felt like I learned so much. I'm excited to see where it takes me this year. But yeah, this one I've not got a clue. So again, any thoughts, advice, tips would be appreciated. And then these couple of Hoyas, I deliberately put these to the other side because you'll see why. They are pesty, they are badly pesty. And the first one, in my little booby pot, is the Hoya Bella Albo Marginata, I think. White edges, which I assume is Albo Marginata. Yes, so this section here is the one that actually has growth on it, and you can see so pretty. Like I actually feel like the camera is not doing it justice. I feel like the little white outlines around the leaves are just so unique and so beautiful. And when I first got a cutting of this plant, I was so excited. But I find the Hoya Bella in general, but this specific one that I've got now, I find it such a magnet for mealybugs. And mealybugs are probably the one pest in my collection that I am yet to find like a definitive solution to. I've got ways of treating, but with this plant, they always seem to come back. And in fact, I don't know how well you're going to be able to see, but like on some of these stems, like just there where my thumb is, see that little white fluffy bit? That is, in fact, a mealybug, and it's lost all of the growth on this stretch here. It's just losing leaves galore, and I have done so many alcohol treatments. I've done hydrogen peroxide treatments, and I'm just a little bit at my wit's end. I'm actually considering chopping this plant up and saying to people, I'm aware it's got mealybugs, but if you want to give it a go, I'll send it to you for free because it's so beautiful. I would feel horrible just like throwing it in the bin. Personally, I'd feel really bad doing that because I know it's such a cool plant and so many people want to grow this plant. But at the same time, I kind of feel done with it. I really do, because it's just been never ending, the cycle of mealies. So yeah, that's that. And again, on the note of mealies, I didn't actually bring this plant over initially to show you, like, I didn't think it was pest related, but that's a side issue. We'll get onto that in a minute. The reason I brought this one over, this is my Hoya, oh my God, I've just seen another, no! Hoya compactor variegata, and I've got the super compact one just here, and then the, I think it's probably Aurea one here. And the reason I originally brought it over to show you was because I was like, obviously this is a very slow type of plant to grow. I was aware of that when I got it. I knew it would be slow. This one here, the Albo, this was actually Emma's before it was mine, and she gave up on it and gave it to me so that I could try it, because it is, when I say slow, I don't think over its time in Emma's care and my care in like 2 years, I don't think it's given us a single leaf. Maybe, I was gonna say maybe this one's new. I actually don't think it is. I think it's just sun stressed. But yeah, I was gonna say the Aurea obviously grows a lot quicker. I got this section at Malvern and it's put out about that much growth in the last kind of 8 months, which I think is okay. But what I've always said about this plant is, oh my God, wouldn't it be awful if it's got mealybugs? Because it's so compact and because there are so many cracks and crevices for mealybugs to get into, that has been like my biggest fear with this plant. And it's happened, the worst has happened. If you just look inside the little leaves, like, can you see in there, those white bits? And yeah, like, look at the back there, there's a massive white bit. And actually I was like, okay, well, at least they're fairly big and I can spot them. But no, if you look really closely, you'll see there's like loads. I don't know if they're actually showing up on camera because they are so small, but there's loads of teeny tiny like white dots. They are so small. But yeah, they are all like thousands of mealybugs, thousands of them. So I think, I need to be absolutely brutal with this plant if I'm gonna actually eradicate the problem. And like I say, mealybugs are so hard to get gone sometimes when they get this bad. So I'm thinking probably take it out of the soil, ditch the soil, throw that in the bin, then dunk both sections into isopropyl alcohol, give them a good kind of zhuzh around in that, not get the roots in obviously, and then probably like moss rehab it or something in a cloche so it is contained and out of the way. But yeah, that, it just feels like it's going to be faffy. And if that goes on for as long as my Hoya Bella has been going on with the mealybugs and I just can't ever get them gone, then I think I'm going to have to just say goodbye to that plant. I don't think it's going to be worth it. But yes, those are the ones that are doing the worst right now. Like I say, most of them, I know there's a few pesty things in there, but most of them are down to me. But let me know in the comments down below if you've got things going wrong as well. Like I said at the beginning of this video, I said in a Patreon video the other day that one of my goals for this year is to just be more open about things that are going wrong in my collection, because it does happen all the time. Just because I do YouTube doesn't mean I'm like this amazing plant expert. It does, like, bad things happen to all of us, don't they? I have, however, got some fun and more positive video ideas that I will be making soon as well. But yeah, as I say, let me know, and I hope you enjoyed this video. And if you did, please make sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel. Have a lovely day, and I will see you in the next video.
Stay sexy, plant lovers.